Yak Ei Tutat, Gunas Chish Hayaiki, Arapaho, Ka Apache, Katsukumanchi, Shoshone, Kayut Kwan, Cha'adi Yehai Naiu, Klech Ayach Ye Diatuka, Sitlain Yukat Duasak, Tekwedi Chatsiti, Kiksadi Yadi. Good morning. Thank you to the Indigenous people of Colorado for inviting us. Please forgive us in advance should we say anything to offend you. That is not our intention. We are here to present on the Sitka ICWA partnership with the state of Alaska. The Sitka Tribe of Alaska, it has a tribal government with over 4,400 enrolled citizens. We stand here today not because of ourselves, but because of the sacrifices, hard work, and resilience of our ancestors. I would like to acknowledge our General Manager, Lisa Gassman, our Tribal Council Member, Woody Widmark, Tribal Chair, Kathy Hope Erickson, and our Tribal Judge, Pete Esquiro, in our audience today, who have supported us in spirit, but also financially, in trusting us with the funding necessary to run this department effectively to benefit our children and our community. We are supported by our ICWA partners, the State of Alaska Office of Children's Services Sitka office, with 2 of their representatives standing here with us today. Gunas Chish. Thank you to our Creator for allowing us to be here today.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. Who let the rabbi up on stage? It's a long and twisted tale, but suffice for today, both of our peoples have stared genocide in the face and said, not today. Our holidays can often be summed up with the formula, they tried to wipe us out, it didn't work, we're still here, now let's eat. Part of healing our historical trauma is through a sincere truth and reconciliation process. I don't need to tell this room that letting out the truth of American history is fraught with pain. War and removal, the abduction of children from their families, sent to boarding schools, foster homes, adoption agencies, reform schools, juvenile detention centers, all implicitly designed, and Rahmana Litzlan sometimes explicitly designed, to steal your 7 generations, to civilize the savage, and those are not my words. Now, you could look at my retro hairstyle and say, Judge, you're living in the past. But we see the effects of this pain today as we seek to heal our families. We see a judge, a federal judge, in the District of Texas, who shall not be named, issue a decision emboldening the incessant attacks on arguably the most important piece of Indian legislation ever passed, the Indian Child Welfare Act and all that it stands for. But besides these challenges, we know that if our thinking is clouded with anger, even legitimate anger, we are less effective for our families.
Although tribal courts are primary, there are some child custody cases that must remain in state court, causing our ICWA team to spring into action. In preparing for battle, we must acknowledge our historical trauma and start the healing process with forgiveness, but not forgetting. As Black Elk taught us, there can never be peace between nations until there is first peace within the souls of men. Starting my job as an ICWA caseworker, I was ready for a fight, thinking that it was my way or the highway. This proved not only exhausting, but ineffective. Failure to communicate well with our local child welfare office resulted in more hurdles for the success of our families. There were triangulations, lack of creative problem solving, and failure to add our culture to family case plans. A few of the many ways our tribe has overcome this mentality was cross-pollination, such as learning the language of state agencies through taking the skills curriculum by the Alaska Child Welfare Academy, which allows us to start on the same playing field by understanding the state systems. But cross-pollination goes both ways, with our tribe making sure its influence is felt by the state as well. First, by inviting the state agencies to tribally led trainings and events, but also the tribe's recent invitation to help the Alaska Child Welfare Academy to develop and co-facilitate the ICWA curriculum. By educating new state child welfare workers regarding ICWA's priorities, it has impacted how state workers view Alaska and the importance of working with tribes from the very beginning of a case to ensure there is ICWA compliance. Preparing for battle and fighting smart also means sharpening the skills of our ICWA team with legal advocacy training through the National Tribal Trial College. Through this intensive course for lay advocates, our ICWA team is armed with the language and the confidence to be an equal party during litigation, but also making sure our tribal voices are heard.
For our ICWA cases, Sitka Tribe of Alaska not only has a 100% intervention rate, but we make it a point to have a strong presence in the case from the initial notice received from the state until the conclusion of reunification, adoption, or guardianship of the children. We promote the importance of sovereignty, ICWA, and culture by showing up for tribal children. We attend all initial investigations, court hearings, team decision meetings, administrative reviews, school and treatment meetings, case planning and check-ins with the parents, and caseworker visits with the children. We ensure our voice is heard by choosing to use our own highly trained, qualified expert witnesses instead of relying on the state's interpretation. The ICWA caseworkers set the example of actively engaging, and the Office of Children's Services in the courts took notice. They began to not only invite and include more tribal involvement, but actively seek it out. Judges, attorneys, and child protective workers started to realize the value of tribal partners because we stood up, we spoke up, and we brought a new perspective to the table. In Sitka, the ICWA team continues to grow to safeguard tribal children, and the results are astounding. The rate at which tribal children are being taken out of home is down. Our placement preference compliance rate is up, and our funds are sustaining us. And most importantly, not one single tribal child is left unrepresented.
So when your partners come calling, you answer. Culture is the medicine that helps heal our families. Each of your tribes has its own unique traditional medicine to apply in this partnership model. State courts, child protective services, and non-tribal social workers are not going away. We must invest in the relationships crucial to the success of our families. As stated by Congress and ICWA, there is no resource that is more vital to the continued existence and integrity of Indian tribes than their children. The hour has come. The recent decision out of Texas puts us all on notice. Children are sovereignty. Please join us in standing in unison to honor the Indian Child Welfare Act and bless our children. May Creator grant you strength in mind, body, and spirit, and protect you always, and meet you with success and good health for you and your people for now and all time. Amen. Gunashish. Thank you.